circling.
He's young and old.
I grabbed some that one year or something.
Right.
So after I go to a meeting, then I
Oh,
call him.
message.
2 minutes, silence our phone.
I want a minute. Oh. I got the ringer off, but that thing I can't shut off. I don't know how to operate it.
I keep telling somebody on the ground,
Oh,
or you realize, no, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Is she coming back?
I don't know.
I think she's running off copies of the, something for Dan.
Oh, okay.
She has a name. All right, go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Every night.
Is that?
Yeah.
Let's start with a moment of silence, and then if RJ, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. We have a full house today. I want to open the floor to public comments. Go ahead.
We're here, we live adjacent to the proposed kayak launch. And we saw that it was, the grant was denied, but you're reapplying for another grant, is that correct?
Reapplying for the same grant again.
So we just want to let everybody know we're still not at all comfortable with having that next to our property, adjacent to our property, connected to. our
Yeah,
property.
yeah.
Our biggest concern is maintenance, security. And I have talked to realtors and they have said it won't increase the property value, it will decrease the property value. It's a small piece of land. So it'll really come down to being parking spaces and a porta potty. And, you know, that's not real nice right next to your property. We have no say because we're not
Right.
Langsburg residents. You can't vote people out of office. We really feel like we're at your mercy.
Okay. Yeah. I think we've, yeah. So, okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
My name's Tiffany Rumbelski, and this is my husband Daniel, and we own the commercial property 101 East Grand River, and that is where I operate my business, Reform Wellness, and we're doing for fitness, massage, you know, kind of all those wellness things, but So we purchased this building in September. We purchased the building September 14th, and prior to even purchasing the building, when I was looking at it, I had reached out to the Shiawassee County Building Department to see, are there any red flags here? Like, is there anything that I'm gonna run into that is gonna be crazy expensive? Am I going to have to do a bunch of renovations? Where am I at with this? I want to make sure that I'm meeting code. I want to kind of know what I'm getting into. I was put in contact with Mr. Silvio Dion and was not able to get answers. Waited several weeks, didn't get anything, didn't want the property to get passed up by us, so went ahead, put in an offer, purchased it, and spoke with him in August. And it took all the way until November 14th to be able to open a business. And that is currently operating on a temporary certificate of occupancy over a step that's 3 inches high, that's been there for over 100 years. Several other businesses have gone out of there. There's been a toy store, perfectly safe. There are no other issues as far as safety, as far as welfare of the public coming into the business. We asked several times, is there anything else that we can do? Spoke on the phone several times. What can I do to get my business open? Had an evaluation, still nothing, no answers. There was mention of needing to do a male and a female bathroom at one point, and I think I have 4 male customers overall and 900 square feet of space. So, it's just been a very frustrating situation. It's been very disheartening to want to open a business in Langsberg. This is the only place I wanted my business to be, was in Langsberg. And then to kind of run into this person, first of all, who was just held us up for so long and was not necessarily kind throughout the process, and kind of insinuated that I was trying to be shady to try to not accommodate everyone, that it was I needed to meet this current building code in a 150-year-old building, which is not, which the code says many times you do what's technically feasible. And to pay a price of 5 to 10% of what we paid for the building to make this ramp that goes 8 feet out to the curb, or 12 feet out to the curb, 8 feet on either side of our doorway, is not technically feasible for us. And we have 8 months to try to find some sort of a solution, or beg him for another temporary certificate of occupancy.
Sure, go ahead.
So just to be clear about what we're talking about, the sidewalk connects to our property, concrete on concrete. And there's this small 3 or 3.5 inch step, which by code should of course be a ramp, ideally. And so what he's suggesting is that we have concrete work done over top of the city sidewalk to create a ramp in all directions. Being on a corner, it's rounded, so it's not
Right.
just a straight shot. It's not, there's no way to build a wooden structure or things like that. So what we did, which what the code says is that in the case of a change of occupancy, is what he's leveraging, is that it was a change of occupancy significant enough to evaluate all of these things. And that point alone could be debated, right? Whether or not this change of occupancy should dictate, these type of things. And it says that you should comply with current building code, except in the case where it's technically infeasible. And when you look in the glossary at the definition of technically infeasible, it's something to the effect of unlikely to be accomplished. And in some cases that might be financial, in some cases that might be a site, concern. And for us, it's both, because we're being asked to do something that extends beyond the property we own, which is complicated in a lot of ways. So it doesn't make sense what he's asking us to do. And the same discrepancy between the sidewalk and our stoop exists for 3 other buildings along Crum Street. So why was the toy store allowed to operate there? Why are the other businesses allowed? And we seem to have been singled out in a way that I have yet to understand.
I have a quick question.
Sure, please.
The numerous phone calls that you made, but that haven't been helpful, have they all been to Silvio? Is it Silvio? Silvio?
Well, we have reached out several times to Pete Preston, who
Yeah.
to our understanding is his supervisor. And we
Oh.
haven't had a single call returned.
Okay, and then I have a question for Paula. Is this something that we could bring up to planning commission, or is this? We put it on the agenda to discuss it, or is it something out of our hands? I
I'm
don't know.
working with Tiffany and I thought we were handling what needed to be taken care of, so.
I don't know all the this is and that, so I'm just curious.
I mean, this is not a planning issue, it's a building code.
Right,
So our impression was that the city hasn't experienced this process before, that what's been done here has been different. Is that accurate?
No, we've been having situations of the same.
But the temporary certificate of occupancy, has that happened before?
I have one for my building, and same type of crap. I mean, to be blunt, same type of crap. That was it. That were approved before, came back in, now have disapproved. So, yeah. Did you make any changes to
No,
your building?
0.
Okay,
Zero.
And the one extra step we did,
I thought so too. It set up beautiful.
yeah, they really did a nice job renovating it not that long ago, so it's a nice building for being that old. Everybody
Mhm.
walks in and says, I can't believe this is that old.
So what I'm wondering, are they, so who's this person? Do they work for the county, right?
they work for the-
So are they, I'm wondering if they're trying to push, it sound like to me, it's like ADA approved,
That's,
get
that's,
Mhm.
that's
what it is.
That's,
So and the ADA agrees 100% that you do what's technically feasible.
Right.
You do the things that you can accomplish and you do them right as quickly as you can accomplish them. And that's what we've done. So the other step that we took was I purchased a portable ramp. It folds up like a suitcase. It's 8 feet long, which is more than enough to surpass the few inches that we need. It's wide enough for a wheelchair. And
Got ledges on the side,
It's-
so you can't roll off of it. So
it's something the ADA would view, from what I can read, as an acceptable sort of workaround when it's not technically feasible to comply with current building code. So we have that in the closet. If she were to have a client that, needed that accommodation, we could make that happen immediately.
Hmm.
And we are by appointment only, so even for the group classes, we have limited space, so everyone signs up and if there's an accommodation that is needed, then certainly there's that ramp there and, we're able to get, the doorway is wide enough.
And also knowing that this was a predominantly female clientele and that it's often, private appointments and things like that. Silvio also came unannounced to talk more about.
Yeah, two months after he issued the temporary certificate of occupancy. Coming into work one day and he shows up with a clipboard and says that I'm on his schedule for a final inspection. And I felt really uncomfortable, to be honest, that, kind of shooken up and he said, oh, it must be a mistake. That, so well, how does that happen? The situation, so why would you come?
so,
And this was there was no scheduled appointment.
There was not.
For the record, and he said that there was, and when we, that day, and also once or twice before that, I also called to inquire about existing certificates of occupancy or something, and anytime we call that office, they say, hold on, let me check on that, and they put us on hold, and then on the other end of the phone, Silvio picks up. They just transfer us to him. We've not been able to talk to anyone else at the county, which is part of why we're here today. We haven't been able to get anywhere, but we're at a point where we need to appeal this decision at some level, ideally with the help of the city. We moved to Langsburg 2 years ago. Our kids are in the schools. We love this town, we may be kind of newcomers, but we're planning to stay.
Maybe,
go ahead.
I'm wondering, maybe state representative there out of Shiawassee County or something, you know, state rep, get with somebody till we go that level. I
There
don't
is an
know.
appeal process at the state, and I've talked to someone there who, guided me on exactly what those steps to take are. To appeal.
I think the thing that concerns me is that you've reached out to Pete, and I had said to Pete when I knew you were having this problem that I wanted to go down and kind of, because I think it's not only there's other people that it's gonna happen to them. I'd like to know what our idea of all these stoops, when someone sells a building, what we're gonna have to deal with, I guess. I feel
Because
like
all
it's
of them
not,
are like that.
yeah, I don't feel like it's just gonna be so I kind of wanted to be involved, and I mean, I've reached out to him and asked if they've got it scheduled, and he says, he left the message for you, and you can't seem to get a hold of him, and it just seems like it seems like it should be a priority at this point, I guess.
Yeah,
So-
there's been at least 7 calls
So,
from us to him.
well,
nothing.
From early on, we started, he was copied on a lot of the emails and we just kept hoping that he would reply on one of those emails and say, hey, let's talk about this, or let's reevaluate this. And we never heard a word. And so we started leaving voicemails on his phone number that's available on Google. And so he did call back that day, a couple weeks ago or whatever it's been.
And she was,
And we're trying to put the kids to bed. And so we called back within an hour
Yeah,
and nothing.
both
So,
numbers.
Yeah, we would, yeah.
Still 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here just
Yeah.
in the interest of time.
Yeah.
So this is all county, right? City can help. I know Paula's been involved
Yeah,
and is
she's been
helping.
amazing.
Right, it's been good. So I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. It is a county thing, so. And we will do what we can to help. I mean, I have the same type of issues, so really appreciate bringing that to our attention. And I want to clarify something, Paul, help me out here. I don't think it's a change of occupancy, it's a change of use. Correct. Right? So it's not that the occupants changed, it's that you went from being a toy store to a massage place is why,
Well,
is the.
there's a lot of verbiage in there between the words occupancy and use
Right,
and
is there- okay.
categories.
Okay,
And if you move within a category, typically there would be nothing.
granted, yes,
And
right.
so
yes.
he's basically saying that we're moving from one business
Yeah.
category to another as
Yeah.
if we were going from, very drastically different.
Right, yeah, no, I
But
get it,
thank you for that.
I get it, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
but if you were to sell
Yeah.
something, they were to open another Pilates place, there wouldn't have to change,
Sure.
right, so, but that's all part of, so, okay, thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes. Oh, go ahead. We live next door to Bates Scouts Park.
Okay,
We just bought that property out in Gilson, actually 21. And I kind of have a concern. One thing is, so where our property butts up to Bates. We've been trying to clean it out, like it has been a year's job, Dan's actually seen it, so. We've been trying to clean it up, and we went back there, and there is there's a lot of stuff back there, and I'm worried because the fence is down.
Okay.
If any kids go, oh, the woods, let's go travel, they're gonna get hurt, because there's bricks, there's an old hay baler back there, there's an old tractor that we found, there's junk back there, so we're trying to clean it out, but
That's-
You're looking at it. to the
we're
right.
in between the consumers and Bates.
Got it, okay.
And that fence is old and it's down, and I was wondering if that could be replaced. I've talked to a couple of the guys that clean out the leaves or anything there, and they said we would have to come here.
Okay.
And then the other thing was because we're city residents, we wanted to have some chickens. And we weren't for sure how to go about that.
No
we have
chickens.
4.5 acres.
Listen,
And
They're not allowed.
okay.
they're not allowed.
I mean, we went through the chicken thing a few years ago,
Yeah,
and
like 5 years
we
ago.
don't allow chicken.
I want them to.
I think it's right down the.
Yeah,
site
we're,
that-
yeah, it's right on the limit. they say Meridian Road. You know, well, Meridian Road in this way is also.
So, Dave. I would. I mean, you said a tractor and a hay baler and a.
They're not on our.
They're not on our property. Yeah, okay, that was kind of where
Yeah,
I was
it's
going.
not mine, and we're trying to clean, like, there's stuff everywhere on that, like, we found stuff everywhere, he didn't maintain it, we were renters before.
Okay,
We rented it for about 5 years before, and then he sold it to us.
okay,
So we've just been slowly going through, and like, we had to clean out the whole barn, and then now consumers came through and they found a whole bunch of extra stuff, like if you go past there, you'll see blue barrels, and we're trying to get all of that rid of, but that park side is what has me worried, because we don't have anything to pull out that rusted, you know,
It's,
hay baler. It's,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's pretty old. It's solid metal.
yeah,
How
I
long
went,
is
I went back there to like hit on it. It looks rusted, but it's. Best way to describe it is stuff built back in the day, still survives.
how long was the fence that's there that's falling down? Yeah.
it's been that way since we moved
Yeah, I said
in.
how long the fence? was.
Oh.
Oh, it goes from
Yeah.
the old fence post all the way back. I'm assuming that's a smaller barn or equipment shed or.
Oh, yeah.
So it goes the full length of the property.
Is it our fence?
I don't know.
That I can't tell you.
You
It's
go.
been down since I started.
Yeah.
Dan can let us know how to figure that out.
Or Dave, somebody can you look and see, determine whose fence that is.
If they got the farm equipment, it might be from the farm too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, right.
You know,
It's ours.
huh.
I know where ours stops.
So
Right.
we'll
Yeah,
look
the
into
new
seeing
chain
if
link
there's-
fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take a look and see.
I mean, too bad your property don't go beyond the city limits, because there's another like back there farther. It's Scioto, I think it is. Could have chickens back there if it,
Well, we butt up to the cul-de-sac, like we go all the way back, all them pine trees and everything, that's all us.
Hmm.
So,
because there's a point that I'm not sure where that's at, but I mean,
Yeah, they're still in the city. The Scioto starts further back on the other property.
if that can just be looked into, because I mean, that's one of my biggest concerns.
Especially with little kids, they got
Yeah.
playgrounds that are right there.
And
It
we're
only takes a
upgrading that park.
second.
So you're on the east side of the park?
We're
Yes.
right in between the
Yeah.
consumers
Got it.
and
Got it.
Yeah, east side,
Yep.
Sunrise.
Yep. Okay, we will look at the fence,
All right, thank
see
you.
what we can determine. Anything else, Cindy? I think you,
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Cindy Garber, your county commissioner. Got kind of disconnected to you guys. My kids attended Lanesburg schools for 14 years, so. Drove them every morning, picked them up every night, basketball practice. My son Brian played for Coach Mitchell. My dad still lives at Twilligers every day about 2:30. He's gonna be 85 next month. He always tells people that he has an appointment. My dad, that's not an appointment. So two things real quick. I've been listening, took some notes, gave you guys my phone number. Pete works for me, works for the 7 of us. The struggle, like everybody, is he's probably short on help and is stretched really thin, which is not an excuse. So I'll see if I can help him maybe work through some of these things. Nobody at the county ever wants me to come to their office, so a Lanesburg resident, Bill Dodge, had a problem with the same department, and I just sat in that office until they got him what he needed. I made myself comfortable, and I think they got the idea that I wasn't leaving till Bill got what he needed. The second thing is ARPA funds. That's been a huge thing. I'm gonna leave this with you guys. It's a spreadsheet of to the dollar where all that money went. 6.4 million is going to the courthouse, so that's a huge chunk of it. Another million to district court and the jail roof, and then 3 million to cover payroll. So we're gonna have a little bit of a struggle when we start talking about next year's budget. How we're gonna cover our payroll, because that
is $20.7 million a year, and it exceeds what we take in on our millage. So, you know, we have special revenue funds that kick in too, but it's a big number. It's a really big number. So I'll leave that with you guys. And like I said, I did take some notes. You have my phone number. I do have Pete's cell phone number, so I'll get a hold of him. Can usually find him outside the building smoking, so I'll just leave that with you if I can, Paula.
Sure.
And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm glad you did, Jeff. Thank you.
Hey, anything else under the public comment? Okay, public comment is now closed. All right, can we get a motion to approve minutes from the last meeting?
I make a motion.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Everybody good? All right, let's have a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All that disapproved. say nay. Okay. Minutes have been passed. All right, can I get a motion for approving the treasurer's report?
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion on the treasurer's report? Any questions? All right, all in favor of approving the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
All that do not approve, say aye. Treasurer's report has been approved. All right. Well, now we have to have another public hearing. This is our second and last one on this 219, correct? Correct. So is there anybody online? All our crowd is left.
We need a motion to open. the public
Oh,
hearing.
yes, okay,
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
I second.
all right.
No, well, yeah, all in favor.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
No, okay,
Any opposed? Say the same.
I'm sorry. what?
Any opposed? Say the same.
Any,
I know
okay.
what you're trying to say, I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, any opposed? Say aye. Okay. Public hearing for the special assessment for 219 is open. Any comments? All right, nothing. We have a motion to close the public.
Make a
hearing.
motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right. Public hearing is now completed for that. Approval to street closure for the springtime. Do we
I
have?
make a motion that we close the streets.
I second. We do have them.
We do have a map. Yep.
Just you have the map or?
We're talking springtime festival, we're not talking,
It's springtime.
I mean,
I don't have that.
Yeah,
No,
that's the line. It's-
I have pancakes.
that's where I.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Did
And
Mr. Foster come down and?
He did,
Okay.
but I think I'm like, I thought we got something, so. I think he just went over these with Kim and updated the dates.
Okay.
If you don't want to.
Because the last time I heard him, he said, I think that's right. And I thought, oh, you know, that's why I had him come back down.
I thought
That's why I had him
somebody was
come
gonna
down
be
here.
here. So, unless somebody's on from the Lions Club, there's nobody here.
Yeah, but if he came down, then I'm sure that it's.
I still keep my motion.
I talked
to him.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so the reason we wanted to get is because last year we kind of did this, and then at the last minute, they wanted to close another,
I think that was the car show. but-
the car show.
But either way.
Either way, yes,
Extending
It's
the
good to be decent.
date.
yes,
I
right.
mean, we always need to know when it is and close the streets.
Right.
So, I keep it on my radar, so I have like a tickler file, so I know like, hey, we should be closing the streets for the Lions Club, and I reach out and then. I mean, I could do nothing, but I feel like the right thing to do is just bring it to you to close the street.
So the right thing, you're right, that's the right thing to do. The right thing for them to do is to provide,
Absolutely,
here's what we want.
In writing.
right?
absolutely.
In right,
Yep.
I mean, that's the
need that
right thing for them. to
communication.
do. We need that communication, not asking a lot,
Right.
right?
Now, when we do this, with me being on that board too,
how soon do you, like, as soon as we know the dates, just kind of like bring it to us here?
Whenever, I mean,
Yeah, I
as
think-
long as we
May
do it, I
30th.
mean, I'd like to do it like a month or two before so that,
Yeah.
you know, we have time if there's an issue, if they want to change something.
Yeah.
The police, the DPW know what's
Yeah,
going
no, I'll
on.
bring it to their attention too. I have
I
a
would-
meeting with them on Thursday.
I would say at least a month in
About a
advance,
month.
but, I mean, so the
I think it's
springtime.
easy that way.
I would
The
say more
springtime
than a
festival,
month.
the pancake breakfast.
Well, usually
all
we start
kinda
getting
do,
everything by January
Yeah.
first is when we start getting like,
The
Oh,
January
for
5th, we need to have it.
hey, we can do
Well, you
that.
start
I'm just
planning in February. This is one of the planning things I think you do it. when you
Right.
Start
Yeah.
planning.
All right, and these are good, we're good with this, do we have
I'll
a
make a
motion, do we have a second? I think
second.
we do. All right.
Okay.
All in favor of closing
Yeah.
the streets? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right.
For 9. The minutes?
Yeah.
But I think also, I do think if you get it writing, then it's like then later on, you can't, they
It's
can't say,
definitely-
yeah,
I think it's only fair to
Yeah.
the city council, who's closing the streets,
yes.
to have it in writing.
Somebody's vibrating down
It's,
there. I'm like, my phone's off.
I may actually have to go get that. But let's see. Okay. Lions Club proposal to build a pole barn. Do we have a motion?
Now, is that, I had a question on that, so I was reading, when I read through the packet, is that to add on, or are they building something separate?
It's
To
to
add
add
on, that's what I thought, okay.
They want to,
You might want to call it add-on, but it definitely looks like it's an entirely new barn added on to the other.
but I think it's the same size.
Yeah.
I think they're
Well,
probably
yeah,
the same.
I just think it's I mean, it's not necessarily an addition, it's a new barn. The new barn, actually, the old barn.
It just makes it longer.
Yeah.
My understanding was someone was
If it
going
goes
to be
longer on
here
this side, then
representing
that's
the
lots
Lions
of
Club.
fence, the.
Terry, Dave and I talked to
Yeah.
Terry and we told him we got to
Terry would have
handle.
been here.
You
he
don't need to
had
be
knee
here.
surgery,
Oh,
so
sorry.
he couldn't come.
So it was talked at the DPW though, and Ed was here when he was talking about it. So I mean, I watched DPW, so I know Ed came in and proposed some stuff, and you guys did talk about it, but since there's nobody here, do you feel like?
Well, you guys talked to somebody, but we still really don't have, I mean, anything really good in writing.
No plan.
We discussed that, and we needed.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you guys give us an update.
Yeah. Terry is gonna get more information for us
Okay.
and,
It's because it's been tossed up. for
yeah, and
months.
and for better choice of words, there's been and around the backside on a little bit of it and
Yeah.
we told them, like, we need this information.
Mhm.
We did get the pricing of what the building would be, but then they want to work. They're talking about moving water out there, moving electrical, upgrading their electrical stuff, so that's where
And
this.
who do they want to pay for that?
Well, that would be, they like the city to take care of those two parts. And then they're gonna pay for the building part. We told them, because they were gonna have a person come in and do the electrical. And we said you have to have a master electrician fully permit. And this is the city, we're not gonna just go, hold on, down.
Well,
So it's
He
done
was
right.
an electrician and
Right,
a license.
But I'm gonna tell you right now that if the city, I mean, we didn't know a price and we need at least 3 bids. I mean, we're not just gonna go on a whim, okay, we're gonna have a certain electrician that's licensed to do this. We need to know how much they want the city to pay, or I'm not seeing a bill on that.
Well,
Well, it's still in the talk.
Right,
it's talking, but it's more of,
I mean, we should table it until they come up with more information.
So I think it's like a year out that they're talking, so I think this is like
Yeah,
primary,
it's a wait.
I
Right.
think they're just coming to us and saying, hey, we
We have
want to add on.
communication here in
right.
order to even.
But there was a
address
couple of
another
things-
But
place.
the problem is,
Right,
it's the
problem-
third time it's
Yeah,
come to
yeah.
us.
I think we're past that.
Yeah. Yep.
They need to start getting their plans together.
Right.
Right,
With
so if
what
it's a
they're
year
doing
out,
costs. and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I mean,
because otherwise we're kind of wasting our
Yeah.
time.
Well, and that's what we were discussing,
Yep.
because we have a meeting the same week we have this meeting, and so that's. what
Greg
we
and I
needed
did bring
to-
up to him that we need one representative doing this.
Yes.
Right,
so
I agree. I think that it should be the president, in my opinion, because Terry is the one that we go through for everything. I don't think it should be anybody else on that board. I mean, obviously besides Mike Foster, because he's our
We haven't
second.
even seen a drawing of where.
No.
Well, and we
They don't
didn't
have
have, and we didn't have a drawing, because we
They
were
don't have
trying
a
to
drawing.
figure, yeah.
No, but I'm
we were
like,
trying to figure it out. Even a
decision
feasible.
on building a barn,
No.
when there's not, or allowing it, when you don't even know
And here's the
Gonna
next
take out
thing.
the slide, you know, what's it
Well,
gonna?
right, where are they gonna come, where the water from? I mean, if they want the city to pay for that or electrical or whatever,
Watch the DPW meeting.
I want to see
No,
what
I
the
said I
Dallas is
didn't
gonna
know.
be.
We didn't talk about
The
anything.
water was,
That
Yeah,
was
so
new-
when I
that's
went to
new to me.
DPW, that they said that, but also the other thing they said that I just want to make sure that I feel like
Water. So
If- if permit needs to be
Either, so that's where I'm confused.
pulled, it's with the county. The county's gonna require some kind of a drawing.
Right, I agree.
So they gotta get that going.
The drawing of the-
And do it without, they're not gonna be able to pull a permit without a.
We don't even know the size.
Right. Well, no, they did.
Can I make a
Oh.
motion to table this and
Yes,
carry on?
we definitely need to, we got other things to talk about.
Yeah, I don't wanna waste 20 minutes on this.
Well,
when
it's
we have nothing.
very frustrating when you're on something like that and then stuff like
There's-
that gets said and that's. not
There's
what
more
we voted on
detailed
to
than
begin
what
with.
we just told you
So-
guys that we know.
so, okay, so let's table this for this
Shouldn't
time.
everybody know what the
Right,
details are?
exactly.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
that's why I was curious about it, cause I mean, I'm on
Okay,
that
so
spreadsheet
she
and that's
had a
nothing that I.
motion.
I
Yes, and I second that, because I mean, there's nothing to discuss at this point.
Okay, all in
did
favor,
not bring it up until.
all in favor of
Until
tabling,
they-
they decided, nope, I'm.
all in favor of tabling, say aye.
I,
All opposed, say aye. So I'm going to the Lions Club meeting on Thursday. I'm gonna tell them what we want them to bring, what we want them to have, and that there's only so much the city can do. They're gonna have to do the same damn thing for the county.
Yep.
And we have no say over what, I mean, I think they think that we as a city can just go, oh, you can do that.
So from my standpoint, I will not put it on this again until you
So
tell me.
yep,
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 And they
Yep.
shouldn't be allowed to talk about it at public comment,
I agree,
because we've
Okay.
already done that twice.
agreed.
okay,
I mean, I just feel like it's just not fair to everyone.
all right. Moving on. 2305. I have a 2305.
Yeah, I know, this is, the top is 2305. But that one at the top, we didn't get that changed apparently from last.
Okay. And this is,
Is this 5?
wait a minute.
Mine's 3.
Wait a minute, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
this is something not right, because this is now.
No, you're looking at the minutes. That's why. We're still in the
Oh, yeah.
minutes. You didn't make it all the way to the,
Here at item 6.
I'm on item 6,
Oh,
which is,
says it's 2305, but the next thing in my packet is 2303,
right, but
but the
I
23.
know, I'm trying to tell you, our minutes that you just approved include 2303, 2304. Were part of last month's minutes that you just,
Oh,
you
so
haven't
here,
flipped far
I
enough.
haven't flipped. On here,
Halfway through. Yeah, it's
The minutes were really long from last month.
page 27.
that was a long meeting.
Yeah,
Page 27 at the bottom.
just want to say that I'm freezing.
I turned that on at 3 o'clock for you girls. And me too. It's probably, we shut that, because it's freezing.
2305.
Dave's sweating.
It's all at pizza. Over there.
And this is,
Basically, this is the resolution confirming that we're gonna put a lien on this property and collect that money on their taxes next year.
okay,
I make a motion.
I'll second.
all right, any discussion? And this will be the. Yeah, we had 2 public hearings. We have this, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right. Resolution 2305 has been approved. 2306.
Basically, this, there was a change in the law that people can protest in writing to the board of review. Something that happened with COVID is that some people could send in a letter and didn't have to come out. Which all this does is allow that.
So you think we'll have a lot more people doing this or believe and know?
I have no, I mean, we just decided to go ahead and allow that option and Heidi thought it was fine, so.
So can I get a motion for approving this?
I'll make a motion to approve the.
I second.
Okay, now let's finish our discussion.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
I was just trying to tell you what it was.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah, I know, yeah,
So you all knew what we were looking at, whether, now you can discuss whether you want to do it or not.
Right.
So
Well, I guess it makes sense. That's what other people like them.
it's just an option that authorizes people to be able to send in a letter. And then our board of review would just deal with it like they did if someone walked in.
Right. Mhm.
They would still have to have all the documentation.
Does it state in the law when they have to be postmarked by?
It probably does. Yeah. Or probably in the notice that she sends out.
I just don't want the board to get stuck like somebody, hey, I sent you a letter, why didn't you
Yeah.
do anything more?
Yeah.
It came late.
So how will the, following on your question, how will the communication be handled? I mean, what happens if they mail it and we don't get it?
She'll probably send it in there. It has to be postmarked before the board review dates.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure the law tells her how to notify people. There's a law reference in there. If you're not sleeping well, you could probably read that law.
right. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. And Heidi would be the one. that would-
Yeah, and Heidi was fine with it.
Yeah,
So.
okay, all right.
I just asked her that when I saw that was something we could do, and she said, yeah, we should do that, and so.
So we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed, say aye. All right, resolution 200306 has been approved. All right, 2307, authorizing grant application Looking Glass River.
I make a motion to
Yes, we should stop around.
Yeah.
apply for that.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion on this? We're basically applying for the same grant that we were declined. You've made a few modifications that were recommended.
Yeah, this
Correct.
is just, this resolution is just required, but the grant is due like April 1st before our next meeting. So we're gonna get working on the, updating the grant application.
Based on feedback from you.
Yep.
Yep, okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Okay, resolution 2307 has been approved. All right, number 9, approval of the 2022 Planning Committee Annual Report. So there's a report that the planning, I'm gonna say the planning committee puts together through Paul. Just about how they're made up and what they've done and those type of things, so. We need to approve it. Part of what
The RRC.
our
program.
CPS. That we have to do that, so. Do we get a motion to approve this annual report?
I make a motion to.
Second,
Second.
okay, now discussion, any questions on it?
So, I mean, you guys highlight everything that's happened through the year.
We just kind of go through the minutes and
I mean, nothing's actually ever happened with that lawn service after that. Have we had any?
no,
Okay. I was just curious, when I read that, I was like, I'd forgotten about it.
I think they're still working on it.
And what the planning committee, correct me if I'm wrong, because what we basically said was, this was a deal with the county. And Pete was working with them and they were gonna come back to us when they felt they couldn't. They were at a standstill.
Okay.
Because it was up to the county whether they were given occupancy or not. And we couldn't do anything about that.
And they haven't been working out of it, like it just saw a little movement like once, and they just pulled their car in the parking lot and that was it. They gone, abandoned it because they couldn't see outside in it, so, which is what was necessary.
Right, yeah. So
They're definitely doing what they need to be doing, as far as I can see.
we kind of got ourselves out of the middle of it.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion, any other questions? All right, all in favor of approving the annual report, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Okay. Number 10, approval to appoint Kelly Kerner to the LSW. She has been on it for how long? Do you know?
This will be her second. She filled somebody's unexpired term. And now she's, this will be her first full term.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Okay, do we need any discussion? Want any discussion on that?
Oh, thank you, doing a good job, so.
So it's next meeting, our meeting.
Shows up.
Yeah. Shows up.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. They get the other one
She
too.
participates in conversations. She does.
Sounds like a wonderful.
She's super nice, so.
All right, all in favor of appointing Kelly, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Kelly has been approved. Number 11, appointing Brian Fredline to the zoning board of appeals.
I make a motion to approve
I
that.
second.
I would love his knowledge in the zone.
Any discussion?
I was just surprised. I thought he was gonna retire out of
I
everything.
know, but the zoning board technically
Right.
is only here and there, so.
Any other questions, concerns? All right, all in favor of approving
No.
Brian, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye.
If I'm not wrong, I think we still need one more for the ZBA.
Okay. Yeah.
I
So
thought I
now
had
it's
that
just
one
me and
here
Brian.
somewhere.
Brian and I right now.
No. Oh, there's somebody else on there already.
Oh, the gentleman though.
You're talking about Randy, correct?
No,
No,
No, but. who-
Rosedale, in it, or no? So,
Oh,
It
Brown.
was a guy I didn't know.
Was it Brown?
I'll put a link to firefighter. Retired.
I know that I
School
didn't know. the
teacher.
person.
Mike Cassidy.
Oh,
Trying to picture this is out there.
So it's us,
so is
right?
that. I was like,
Think so. I had it right here. I don't know what I did with it. I probably took it back.
There was a girl. She's not on it anymore.
Jessica's on it still.
Okay,
Yeah. Just
because I didn't know anybody.
Okay,
when I
so we
came,
need
and I was
5,
like, Oh, I know 3 people.
so we need one more for this, and this is the one that only meets. Let's see.
They only
When
meet
needed,
as
correct.
needed. Yep.
And is there a problem with somebody being on both the zoning board of appeals and the zoning,
In the planning,
well, not
Oh, the board,
the zone, the
Board of
board of
review.
review?
no. There's no problem with that.
but there needs to be planning and zoning.
But we
It
have that
needs-
covered.
Yeah, that's
Right,
And someone from, yeah,
counselor, yeah. We got that.
okay, what did I do wrong this time? I don't have a number 12
That one is not, we don't have 12, 13,
and 14.
or
I
16.
have 14, yes.
so the budget is number 12, so that is just up for any, we're like,
It's
we're
just
closing
discussion.
in. Or next month, we'll probably bring you a proposed budget unless somebody has any changes. We talked about it in finance tonight. Everybody seems good with what we got going on. Any questions from last month, anything anybody wants to talk about the budget?
No, so between now and then, where it's just if we did something to come up, we should interact, because it's basically getting
Yeah, so
put to bed at.
Yep.
Next.
well, we'll bring it next month as a
Right.
proposed budget, and then you guys would send it to the public hearing in May, and then in May it gets approved. On the third Monday, or whatever day we
We have
decide.
that special, well, we're gonna set up. that
Right.
special.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, anything about the budget, anybody wants to bring up questions, concerns? Okay. When there's nothing we need to do with that. right?
No, there's no action
No
on this,
action,
just,
yep.
just in case there was some, I put it on here.
Medical benefit option, I know we had questions on that one last time.
We talked about it in the finance. You wanna go ahead?
I was just gonna say the finance committee recommended keeping it the way it was, and if we wanted an in-depth look, then do it way before this moment next year. Yeah, but everybody seemed happy on it. So we recommend just keeping it in those right now.
Do we have to do anything for that?
I'd like a motion approving the renewal, of the same plan. that we have.
I make a motion. Keep the
Oh,
same plan as is.
I'll second.
Yeah, okay. All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor of keeping the medical benefit option the same as it has been, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. All right, that's been approved. The lagoon cleaning project, we have 3 lagoons that we need to. I remember looking at these numbers before. What are we looking for?
This, I mean, I don't know that we're ready unless somebody's got some. Something that they're ready to make a motion on. Just any discussion on this, any thoughts? Do we, want to start looking at, how we're gonna fund this, that kind of stuff. Are we not gonna clean the lagoon? I mean, anything basically.
I mean, I guess my question is gonna be what, I mean, ultimately, we have to get that sludge out of there. Because that's creating a problem, correct?
Yeah,
So,
Right, Dave?
I don't want it coming back.
Up your drain.
Hey, Crumb Street first.
We're on the second floor, so it'd have to go.
And I'm guessing it's not a
Sorry,
one-year project. I'm guessing like a 5-year project.
Right, I think, we would probably get one lagoon cleaned out.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Right now, the biggest one we're worried about is 3, because with this new treatment, we're dropping more solids out in 3. But like I told finance, we're gonna do another judge this summer and compare it to last year, and that'll give us an idea of how fast it's dropping in building. So really give us an idea how long we can go before it has to be.
And we. Yeah, if I remember right, 1 is where things going to first, 2 is second, 3 is the last.
Yes, they
So
got it,
just-
finishing time. So that's when it goes, where it goes out.
So we're gonna start with 3.
Yes.
we'll do it in certain phases on it, sounds like.
Yeah.
That's
well,
gonna be the
2
way
was
to do it.
done.
So
I think what's important to look at is how it exponentially.
that's why, that's just where I was going, right? The biggest difference in the first one, the biggest difference in it is the first one. From 640,000 to over $1 million. Whereas the third one is 100,000, it's not 500,000, it's 400,000.
size.
Size too.
I get, but the difference in the cost. I mean, the lagoons aren't getting bigger. They're smaller, but the cost is going up a whole lot more on number 1. It's not doubling it, but it's close.
Pretty close.
This maybe they're all.
It's all that
they're
inflation,
all going- Yeah, but,
sludge inflation.
okay,
Now, what is this column out here? I guess in this column here.
Is it, they think it's like gonna be a 20% increase,
Okay.
that's what it looks like to me. I don't know what ELAC means in this.
That's right.
He probably told us, but. Well, we'll just keep working with C2A on this and. Looking for funding.
As long as the sewer bills don't go up, I'll be happy.
I think the big thing for us is that for Dave and I, since we've been here, we have cleaned the lagoons and it wasn't anywhere near this cost.
Right.
I mean, it was less than 100,000, I think.
why? I mean, is it not, is more than inflation, or is it just inflation?
I think there's a lot of it. I mean, there's trucking
Yeah.
involved and there's manpower and
Everybody
there's
was home for COVID, so.
probably less
Yeah.
people doing it now,
I mean, in my trade, it's ridiculous with the plumbing supplies and stuff. We're not being able to get stuff. It's horrible.
Isn't this
That's
rate
horrible.
too factor into it? Like new rate happen to be
the new ring.
the phosphorus rate or
Oh.
whatever, the levels, that doesn't factor into it all. It's
Well, that
cost.
factors into the amount that's dropping out. That's why we're looking at cell 3 first. Because we don't want to overload that one with solids dropping out.
And you're looking for funding? Are we-
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, anything else on the crappy subject? Sorry, kept it PG. The lagoon thing, anything else? All right, number 15, the development, 120 road, I see we have a letter from our attorney. Basically, saying he doesn't see any problem with the agreement, but that we need, what I couldn't tell and what I is, do we need one public hearing that covers all 3 things, or do we need 3 different public hearings?
I'll be able to figure out how many public hearings we need
Got
to, because when we do an ordinance, we have to have a public hearing, and then one of these things is an ordinance. When we
Yep.
sell property, I don't know if he's trying to say we need a public hearing for that, but,
Yep, that's, there were 2 of them.
yeah, so I think, I mean, we could have one public hearing that covers both subjects.
Okay.
But anyways, I just wanted to reach out to him to make sure that we were, I mean, because it's kind of a big deal, I wanted to make sure all this was up to his liking, I guess.
I got a comment too. This is like a throwback in time with his typing here,
Writer.
the typewriter. I was like, wow.
Oh, you want one better?
That's old school right
This
there.
is the packet of stuff that he sent me.
That's what I'm wondering. He said he sent you some stuff. or
Yeah, this is,
whatever.
and I didn't copy it for you.
No, no, but
because
what-
When I use
This
like
is-
the downgrade
This is the planning and zoning,
Oh, well.
Oh,
like law or something, but look at what, he must have copied that from
a book.
some
Well-
book, I don't know.
It's not mine.
But he just highlights parts of the planning and zoning law and then Q&As from, you know, the MML or the MTA, and then Corona apparently did this, so we got copies. This is, look at Corona's agenda. See, you guys are lucky. They put theirs on legal. So. And
It's just old school.
he just
so-
gave me some stuff that Corona did, and then he had a copy of their ordinance, which our guys are gonna put together the ordinance for us anyways, so. I didn't really want to kill the trees
Oh, yeah,
copying
that's
this thing,
But-
so.
So did Corona just go through something like this then?
Yeah.
Based on what he sent?
I don't know how
Okay.
old this is, but. Yeah, I don't see any date. Maybe on the minutes, there's a date. That one's 2015,
Okay.
so,
Oh.
yeah. So no, Corona doesn't have this $7.5 million investment.
No, that's true.
Yep,
Well, anyways, I did not send you the entire packet, but if anybody would like to review it, I
Okay.
have it.
again, if you need somehow to help fall asleep.
I was gonna suggest that.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to let you know, I did reach out, gave them that purchase agreement, make sure there were no issues. Cause they're doing their due diligence, we're doing ours, we're just gonna,
They didn't give us like that developer, they didn't give us a certain time frame. I know they want to do it right away. I mean, are they,
well, we
I know they're
have to,
not trapped, but,
right, but we got some things to.
right.
We're getting through that, phase 2, and then once we go through that, then they'll know what kind of soil there is and all that kind of stuff, and then, I mean. Then we'll probably start seeing drawings and figuring out which way the houses are gonna face and what kind of road we need or what else we need.
Has phase 2 been scheduled?
Yeah, they started it.
You started it?
Yep.
Okay.
No, perfect. Cool.
They should hopefully be wrapping it up in the next week or so.
I'm kind of curious to what their findings are, I guess.
So,
Well, she said she had the people out too for the wells, and so they've been doing some stuff.
yep,
I'm just kind of curious because the old elevator sitting there, what might be down below a little further too, so just
Yeah,
curious.
old railroad. Old
That too.
cars, No.
they did some soil borings with the phase 1, but they didn't really, I mean, they said there was maybe enough just to warrant doing a phase 2, but they didn't really have any over. Zealous concerns.
Well, of course, the old railroad, they built a bunch of houses on, I never would have thought on Doyle Road, so. And there's still, I think, parts that they're from the railroad still underneath part piece of that property.
Mhm.
I've seen it. Kind of cool.
All right, schedule and plan joint meeting. There's nothing else in the 120. We're gonna schedule a meeting for planning, VDA and city council.
Mhm.
What are we thinking? I make a motion to plan it.
I mean, I suggest a Monday.
Yeah.
I think we were looking at the 3rd Monday in May, because we're already gonna be here for our special meeting.
Whoa.
Mhm.
And the planning commission already meets that night, so we would just have to add the DDA.
To the 15th.
Well, we'll do
So third
it
Monday.
whatever time you guys want, I guess, but we'll
So how are
do,
we gonna fit that in?
we don't have to do it in this room.
Oh, we can do it in the other.
We could do it at the high school, we could see if we can get the auditorium, we could see if we get the fire hall. Fire hall.
Fire
probably
hall.
Easier for us.
So I'm thinking for parking wise and everything else.
Oh, and bring
Stuff
a birthday cake and dinner?
Is it your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, we better skip it then.
I want brisket and chocolate cake.
All right, so Tuesday.
No, I mean, if it's scheduled that day, I'm not gonna.
What time
have
are we
all these
thinking
people
too, so
change
that's
it for
fine.
My birthday, but
Well,
if
we
it's
can-
scheduled, I'll be here, it's fine.
Well, it doesn't have to be that day. That was just one, we were trying to think of ways to
minimize nights.
Just
Yeah,
to make sure everybody can meet all on the same
I mean,
time.
I would prefer it be on a Monday. That's just, I'm used to the meetings on Monday, but.
Oh, because after I go by here for a birthday drink.
We could do it the last Monday, but not in May, because the DDA doesn't meet that last Monday in May, right?
No, it looked like it, well. it's on
No, the
calendar.
DDA doesn't usually meet that day because it's Memorial,
Oh, it is, yeah.
so the DPW won't work, do that one either, if we're gonna go to May. But I know last month we kind of talked about that just because of we were already, so we haven't scheduled any of that yet, and if you guys want to keep thinking about when that's going to.
It can be routine. I was just being silly. So if
So
you guys
we-
want that day and it works for you guys. go
So if
for
we
it.
made it May 22nd, there's no meetings at that point because.
that
So
a
we
week?
won't
Is that-
have
I'm
is that
any.
gonna
Monday?
look at the calendar now.
Cause the planning is the first one and, or council's first and planning is third.
Right, and that would be the plan.
That would be the planning commission
And
night.
we we're also talking about having our special meeting for approving budget that night.
Mhm.
So that would be two of them, two groups here. So it would be the DDA would be the third one.
So we could do that.
Right, that's, yeah,
I mean, the planning commission, not gonna be that big of a deal if we join it all, you know.
right. And you have I'm guessing that as we get into summer, Greg, earlier meetings are gonna be a challenge for you.
All those will be challenged,
Okay,
just with golf teams, yeah.
yeah, right.
So just like the 15th, we're up in Tullywood,
Oh, okay.
so that's why I was like, what time?
Need an extra coach that day or
I
something?
might.
Yeah. So, if we do the 22nd, when can people? meet? Really,
So your meeting that is scheduled is at 7, right?
planning would be,
So when
planning
we do it
commission would-
before it?
That's on the 15th, not the 22nd.
correct. Would it be on the 15th?
Yeah,
Cause the 15th is the third and the planing's on the
Okay.
third.
I was talking about, I thought there was something planned on the 22nd.
I'm good.
There's
After
nothing on the
five,
22nd.
Okay.
Yeah,
after 5, I'm good. Unless I just had enough and I'm coming home early,
Right,
which I can do that too.
So you want to do the 16th, I
15th.
mean, 6 o'clock on the 15th? Is that where?
For what?
for the
It's
joint
joint.
meeting,
Or the
The
22nd.
joint, I thought we were, I mean, we could,
we could do
Oh.
planning. Council and,
I just, the planning just won't have a meeting
Yeah,
that
it
night,
just-
it'll just all be, yeah. So if we can get them.
I
here
mean,
an
if we're
hour
gonna
earlier.
abrupt or interrupt any committee, the planning one's probably the
And I-
best, cause it. No, that, I thought,
The budget,
Budget.
our budget won't be very long, shouldn't be.
I mean, to like, I mean, literally not 5 minutes even.
Right, yeah, right.
Unless there's something going on, you know, that everything goes haywire or something, but the plan would be. We'll have a public hearing and as long as everything goes well, then the next meeting is usually approve the budget and we're done. I mean, that's usually, I mean, I've never really seen it happen any other way.
So does the 15th work for everybody?
What time?
Greg, what time works
Well,
for you?
Whoa, hang on, why do we need to do it at 6?
Right,
Why can't we do it at 7, the normal time of the planning? If the planning committee isn't gonna have a meeting.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
We're gonna replace their meeting, we'll have the joint meeting in place of theirs.
Okay.
We'll have the budget
Yeah, that's
meeting afterwards, it'll be.
Or we'll have our budget meeting 5 minutes
5
before
minutes
that,
before.
one,
Right.
whichever way you want to do
Right,
it.
yeah,
I should be back by 6:20. So.
So, I mean, if we have it at 7 and we
Okay.
do our meeting
okay,
at
so the 15th,
6:45.
Yeah, at 7.
I mean, seriously, it would
Yeah.
take literally 5 minutes.
and hopefully at that point, all the questions are answered. Everything's done, so,
At
okay,
7?
6:45,
15.
6:45 for this group.
oh, 6:45.
Because we gotta do the,
Yes, we'll do the budget
okay.
approval meeting beforehand.
Make sure I write down a calendar.
So the motion by Gail right now
Second,
6:45.
is that we're gonna at 6:45 have our special budget meeting. And then at 7 PM, we'll do the joint meeting.
And we'll do it at the fire station. We'll
I think
check
we
up.
should do it at the fire
I
station.
think
I
so,
don't-
yeah.
can't we just, we're doing it all there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Not
yeah.
just-
no, no,
We're gonna do the 5 minutes and run.
run, yeah. We're all jumping
I'll bring
in
this
cars.
to myself. Fire truck, we'll just jump in.
And I guess, you know, I mean. What do we want on this? Like, I think between now and then, I also need to know what you want. You want, you know, is this where you want Connie to come talk to everybody about marijuana? What do you want to do at this joint meeting? Joint meeting. Sorry.
Wrong.
Could we get an update on how things are going with the?
I know, I don't think she heard you.
I'm telling you what. My kind is so stretched.
How about an update on Tiffany's place?
Tiffany massage, I don't think.
I know it's
that
a county issue, but maybe we can put a little pressure on Sylvia to make it right. My
I
thought.
feel like you might be.
Wait,
I
are we
think-
done talking about this other thing?
No,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused.
he's talking about having an update at our special meeting.
You said
Okay.
the
What kind of-
DDA gonna be
idea
there
for-
too, with the
Oh.
DDA down there too, I mean, that's.
So.
So you're gonna invite Pete and Silvio and get everybody there then?
I'm not fighting them, I just.
Well-
If it's been, if.
So
if
here's
Cindy's
what,
talking.
here's
I
the
don't
two
think
topics that I
we
think
should-
we should.
Involve ourselves in that
No,
as a committee, as a council right now, because it's county. That's
I
my
agree.
personal,
I agree. It's the
as
same
much as I personally would love to help her, because I did get them,
with the crap thing.
but. Yeah,
So here's what I think is an update on the marijuana.
Okay,
And if there is if we're far enough along with 120 road.
Yeah.
That we can have an update on that. If we're not far enough along that it makes sense, right, to get
Yeah,
everybody
oh, yeah.
together. But if we are, then
we're already gonna be together.
we're already
So
gonna be
we-
together, so yeah,
Let's make it so we're talking about some things that everybody,
that would benefit everybody.
yes.
I think the lagoon thing, I should probably be brought up too, because that was a big deal. I
Mhm.
guess.
the lagoon.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like kind of do a little dog and pony show, like 15 minutes or something on, I mean, well, I guess what I think that we were trying to make sure everybody was on the same page, right? About.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, should it be mostly about that so that we get all
I
that?
think that's
Yeah.
the most,
I mean, 120 rail, we could give an update.
yes, yes.
But, you know, and
But
then
this
we
was the
could,
first one
we
that we
could
had to
maybe
get
just
done
bring
this
up
one.
the lagoon thing, but
Right,
really,
yeah,
you
just,
know,
just so it's on the radar.
okay. I mean, I just kind of want to get a feel for what we're looking at and how long we're gonna be there,
Those three things,
like an hour.
an hour, yeah, I wouldn't say any more than.
Because the DDA doesn't meet that month anyway, so that should be good, that should work out good, so, and I mentioned to them at the meeting that we were gonna do this. Okay,
All right, everybody good with that? All right. Approve, or did we had a motion? Did we have a
I
second?
seconded.
Do we have, all in favor, say aye?
I,
All opposed, say aye. All right, meeting is May 15th, 6:45
at the fire station.
at the fire station to be determined. Don't see a problem.
yeah, I don't really see any issue with that.
Right. And we'll have the budget approval meeting at 6:45 and the joint meeting at 7. Perfect. All right, approved February bills.
Make a motion.
I'll say.
All right, any discussion, any questions on the bills? All right, all in favor of paying the bills, say aye.
I,
All opposed, say aye. The bills of paying the bills have been approved.
Did you do something? Okay,
It's really windy.
oh, is that what, I
Yeah.
was like, what, maybe that. door-
yeah, we all kind of like looked over there. That's just the ghost.
All right. Committee reports. We'll go in the order I got them in here. Langsburg, Skyler, Woodhull, Emergency Services.
Okay. For the month of January, for the ambulance had 43 runs. In the city of Langsburg, there was 7 ambulance runs. Scioto 12, Woodhull 22, and then 2 mutual aids. For the fire department, January, they had 44 runs. In the city, there were 3, Scioto 7, Woodhull 11, Victor 20, and 1 in Bennington, and 2 mutual aids. The one in Bennington was that fatal accident on Grand River by Pittsburgh Road. For LSW, the tanker that had been ordered last year, the chassis actually came in. So the company has that, and so they'll be progressing. Still don't have a timetable as to when that new tanker will be done. But we're hoping in sometime in 2023. The department purchased a new Lucas that did come in. And it's currently in my patrol car. Right now, the fire chief has decided that since I'm working days and also usually home at night, that we would have a quicker response if someone goes down and either our ambulance is busy on another call, or we're going out to Victor Township. And so that's where it's at right now.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, next, planning commission.
I wasn't there. So I apologize. I can read.
Yeah. It really was talking about the annual report and starting to go through that and getting that updated, make sure it's still good. I think it is, but should go through it on a yearly basis. And then the master plan goals, talked about that, and then 120 road. We'll kind of give them an update on that also, so. Okay, EDA. I was not at this meeting.
I think I can just kind of, we've talked about the match on Main application that we just put in for Hafner's. They wanna, I don't know if everybody knows, but they are, right now they're putting 2 apartments upstairs, and then they applied for match on Main to open like the centers back up. Like to put banquet, but they wanted it to be more like a banquet hall. People have parties there and stuff, and then maybe like Friday night fish fries and stuff like that for starters, so. And then their Face Forward program, all those applications are due this month. If anybody wants to apply that lives in the district or as business. And then we talked about the 120 rail, talked about getting started with the Michigan Main Street program. I think we finally approved some banners. And we have some money we wanted to ask the council for, but we're gonna be good, okay. And then we talked about the Sedum Fellowship. So,
Did you guys look at the other, which banners did you approve, the wolf pack and the?
they approved to pay for what we originally had asked for, which was, like the Wolfpack one, the generic like Langsberg one, the farmer's market one,
So which farmers market one?
the one you guys did.
Is that what they?
Yeah, we just told them that you guys
Okay.
drew it up and that's what we were going with. So
All right,
we had enough trouble trying to get the other banner. Doing banners by committee is very difficult. And just because everybody has a different opinion whether they like flowers or purple or whatever. So but I think we kind of got through it all. We're gonna do like a music and movies and farmers market one or something. And and like, so we're gonna put like maybe a farmer's market one up here and a music and a movies, and then maybe down behind the bar, like kind of spread those out a little bit so that the farmer's market isn't just where the farmer's market is. Cause you want people to come from other places to see the farmer's market. So
So just so you know, like next year, Foresight Group does banners.
we
Just let
did,
you know.
we did get a price from them.
Oh, did you? Was it high? Got it. Okay.
So
Isn't that where Dina lives? What's X?
so we did, but
I had
so
to throw it
the
out there.
DDA did offer to cover like up to $4,000, so we're sure we're good.
As of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right, good, DBW, Greg.
Okay, just a little over the crack seal, I mean, there's a map in here, just when they're gonna start doing that stuff.
Oh, the crack
The
ceiling.
crack ceiling, yeah, we talked about Ed was here and talked about the barn. Then we, outside of that, Dave and I talked to Terry. Got some things in a better row, and then tracking ability on the plow and fill the salter. And then the vacuum, so something that the public could possibly track it. With like, what was the delay, a 20-second delay?
5 to 7 minutes.
But, 5 to 7 minute delay. But Dave can track them to the second.
So when it breaks down, leave the leaf sucker upper, then we'll know where it's at.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, when I saw this in that magazine I showed you guys last month, the MML magazine. Someone in a city, like they created this app. And they were using it for snow plowing and stuff, so like, you knew the snow plow hadn't been by yet, it would, not shovel your driveway, or vice versa, whichever way, But I mean, immediately I thought of, the leaf back, because we get so many calls about the leaf back. And we just feel like we could really communicate with people with that and tell them leaf back is down, or we're doing West Street today, or they could actually see, the leaf back's out, or they could message back and forth. And I mean, if big cities are doing it, we should not really have that much trouble with it. And
Who's messaging?
well, I don't know if it'll be something that Dave sees or something we see, but they'll be able to know where the vehicles are. And we can mass send out and like, they could say, hey, it's down, and we could just send out a mass to everybody who is chosen to be on the app.
Dave, you go Facebook Live, would you allow?
No, I know,
Call in.
I know they're gonna plow, I shovel my stuff out and then they show up.
We wait.
We watch.
You got an app on me already, don't you?
There's a camera.
I guess I have a couple questions. I mean, I listened to the meeting. So it's $3,000 for this tracking system.
That's for
And
the
then
setup of the system.
Huh?
That's for the setup.
Right. So is there any like annual, like, are we ever gonna have to update this? And, like, sometimes you buy stuff and then it's like, every 2 years you're gonna
There's,
do a.
it's gotta go through Verizon Connect, which that guy has not got back with me yet, so
You
I
don't know
don't
what
have
the
a price on that.
Okay.
But the units that are in the trucks are $30 a month. When you're using them, and we
Okay.
can shut them off when we're not using them.
Okay. So if you had, so obviously when the leaf thing's out, then it would be $30 a month, but that's only gonna be for a few months.
Correct.
And then the snow, hopefully a few months of that.
Correct, and I'm looking at maybe 2, one on the leaf bank and one on the main plow truck that's got this all the weeds.
When you
So
say
not
two,
to
is it 3,000 a piece?
No, that's the setup for the system.
Okay, so the actual unit is only 30
Yes.
a
Per
month.
unit, per month.
As
And then whatever the Verizon Connect is, that I don't.
Good thing you're sitting down.
And will that be something that's a monthly charge or just that one time? We don't know.
Expensive.
So we don't know
I
yet.
haven't contacted Verizon guy yet.
Wait till he tells you the price of that.
since we're talking about plowing, I know it's melting, but you never know, it'll freeze tomorrow and snow 12 inches. The
Bite your
pile,
tongue.
the pile that's in front of Steve's. Shoot that.
The pile that somebody's husband parked in front of, and we had a hell of a time getting it out today, it's gone.
Well, Jimmy,
Because they
who
usually-
plowed that, Jimmy? Or was that city that plowed that snow?
Jimmy,
Well, then,
but that's where we have always put it,
That's where it always is.
really,
yes.
Okay,
That's usually Jim doesn't park there when there's snow, so it's weird.
yeah, but
but
Steve's back in town too.
I know Steve's back. Library.
all right,
Okay.
library. Sorry.
No, that's
We
fine.
got off track, sorry.
Nothing really new. We're gonna do story time. It's gonna be held twice a month. We're still trying to figure out what days that is. And the library's been super busy. Sandra said that they've been really busy down there, so. She did give us, hold on. She sent me an email right when I was getting into the. I don't know if you guys have it in your packet. I did get it in a second. I'm sorry. I'm slow on this. Stats at a glance. So this is just a little bit of what she wanted you guys to be able to see where they are in the library actually does. But she wanted you guys to have them. I didn't, in all honesty, I didn't even look at it. But she said they've been really, really busy down there. She said it was nice to be able to see the amount of people coming back into the library.
So I think that total save. I think that might be. The amount of money. Reusing things, is that what that is? Do you know? What-
I don't, she literally just sent it to
Yeah.
me right before, I
I
didn't
would
get a chance
ask
to
her,
look
but
at
I
it.
think that's,
She said,
like
she
she
just thought
talked
that we could
about-
see it.
So something that would be nice. For this is a fiscal year 2023 and fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2021.
taking.
To see how it's
some-
changed.
Is that what we were, and she has a lot of that stuff.
Does she?
right on it,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she
Because
has
we
to
do
do
go
it all
back
for the
through-
state aid, so,
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're supposed to actually get a report annually
Okay.
from the library. Board, like we just do with the planning commission, something similar that kind of,
To be able to do that, I
Yeah.
don't know that, I'm learning.
well, I'm guessing
Because
that.
Miss Gale's
this is
not
prob-
on there for me to know.
I'm guessing this is probably what, she's
Right.
trying to do here.
All right. Did I miss any?
Finance committee.
Finance
Like that.
committee.
Talk about the health insurance, the balloon team in the budget, so, and that we did get marijuana payment. For the state of Michigan.
She was finance and police because we didn't have minutes, because we didn't meet last month. I got ya.
That's it, that's what we did.
Well, then you might need just 2 hours of that.
So we just updated on that one.
Yeah, right.
We won't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that
yeah.
next month.
Yeah. All right.
Dan?
Anything else?
Finance
Dan.
committee?
Dan.
Oh, please.
Right, so finance and police didn't have minutes, so that's why you're not
Got it.
getting a
That's what I
reminder.
just followed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm using that as a reminder, so.
For the ones that weren't here, the ones that were listening, we had 16 reports for February. We had 2 death investigations on the same day. Had 1 weapons complaint at the middle school. That subject is now suspended until the fall of 2023. And 1 assault at the middle school, which was assault/bullying, which is, that report's almost completed. Patrol miles, 1,026, so there was 29 traffic stops, 7 traffic tickets issued. 22 traffic warnings, 14 being the high speed. I did put in for a grant with the small rural and tribal organizations through the federal government for body cameras. That's a 50-50 match. Of the 3 bids that I got, the lowest bid came in through Wolfcom for 5 years at $16,591. The city's cost would be $8,295. The grant closed February 17th, and so I do not know when they will start awarding that. The grant from the NRA Foundation that I put in for additional money for ammunition, that was denied. They said they had more people submitted than funding available. And then I also attended the Chiefs Conference in Grand Rapids. That's it.
All right. Anyone else? Any other committees?
Do you have other stuff?
The only thing that, you guys we were gonna talk a little bit about, interviewing for the fellow. And the interviews are actually going to be, they want them to do either Zoom or over the phone for the first round. And then the final round, I guess they're doing that same way. And then CETA won't sit in on the first round, but they'll sit in on our final 3 candidates. So, they're suggesting 2, maybe 3 people tops. And I thought maybe someone from the DDA.
Mhm.
Just because we're gonna work a lot with the DDA, on that, like Match on Main program was one of the things. But, I mean, just like. Did you ever come up with what you kind of wanted to do there?
Kind of to that level, but not in
Okay.
terms of specific people. Or
So it looks
anything
like I'm gonna be
that.
doing some interviews. We should know. They said we had 15 candidates last time I checked.
Huh?
So,
So you have your resumes? for 15?
no, we don't have them yet. So it closed on Sunday, so we'll get everything today or tomorrow. We didn't get anything yet today, so I'm assuming tomorrow or Wednesday, we'll have our list. They send out like a spreadsheet with all their information on it, and Then I'll be scheduling interviews for, I think the 13, 14, 15. There must have been some other things on my calendar that just. Made the most sense. And then I'm on vacation that last week of March, so the final interviews are gonna be April 6th. Between 1 and 5. So if that helps you decide who can sit in, then those are, we kind of got a few things worked out of dates. And these Sedum people, they're on it, they got a really good system. It's gonna be good, so.
Okay,
Okay, just so you know, those are kind of,
Yeah.
those are some windows and, the
Yeah.
April 6th date is
Yep.
set because the Sedum, 2 people could go and I could go. So, Dave and Dan will be on vacation or something, I don't know. Okay.
Anybody
anyways.
from the DDA?
I don't have anybody particular in mind, but I don't know if Mark's any good at interviewing, but he's the chairman.
Right, yeah,
But just some idea, I mean, just another set of ears, whatever, you
Yeah.
know? So
okay,
I think that's what I had.
all right, anything else, any others? Other things? We have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make motion.
That's